Leaders make or break organizational cultures. So what kind of work environment do you create? A, an energy-draining hellhole where toxic people ruin the lives of everyone. Or B, a fulfilling place where people enjoy using their talents. Chances are your organization is somewhere on the spectrum between A and B. How do we create a healthy culture? CARB. Nope, not that kind of CARB. CARB stands for clarity, autonomy, respect, and belonging. These are workplace motivators. As a leader, you can see and reinforce behaviors that support clarity, autonomy, respect, and belonging. In the brain, these 4 elements of CARB can activate fight or flight on one end of the spectrum, or safety and reward on the other. Let's run through these 4 elements. The first one is clarity. This is the need to understand our situation and what might happen. Can your staff predict what's expected of them in the team meeting? Do they know what behavior will be met with approval and what will be criticized? Other examples are having an accurate job description that lays out expectations and clarity about what criteria are used to evaluate someone. The second element is autonomy, having control over yourself and your work, or at a minimum, having some choices at work. We invest so much to hire talented people. Why bother if those talented people are not allowed to bring their thinking to the table? It is a significant threat to be micromanaged or to have a boss or colleague take credit for your work. It's a threat if I'm told what to do rather than asked what I think. In order to hang on to fabulous people, leaders must first understand autonomy and then make sure they protect it. The third factor is respect, the need to be treated courteously and fairly. It means people honor our credentials and our track record. The authors of the book Crucial Conversations say respect is like oxygen. You don't give it much thought until it's missing, and then it's all you can think about. Respect means the boss is never this guy and doesn't allow this behavior either. We've probably all heard a conflict-averse leader excuse someone's nasty behavior by saying, "Oh, just ignore him. He can be a jerk, but he's really smart." That's cowardly. It's an abdication of your leadership role. A clue that there's a toxic presence in a meeting is that the meeting is likely to be very quiet. Even the extroverts find a way to be absorbed in something else because no one wants to be the target. If a meeting is very quiet, someone is being allowed to silence people by threatening respect. The last workplace motivator is belonging. This is a need we all have for inclusion and security. We don't want to be ignored or voted off the island. So it means having people at work that I trust, and it means work feels welcoming. Let's talk about the neuroscience of CARB by talking about 2 parts of the brain, the limbic system and the prefrontal cortex, or PFC. First, the limbic system is responsible for emotions and also for automatic responses that move us toward reward and away from threat. Part of the limbic system is the amygdala, which is the threat center of the brain. An amygdala hijack is when someone experiences a threat and instantly there is a flood of emotions. Amygdala hijack is what happens when you hear quick footsteps behind you in a dark alley. It's when that wonderful family man succumbs to road rage and puts his family's lives at risk for no reason. It's that angry brain loop that totally preoccupies somebody if they've been humiliated in a meeting. Amygdala hijack is fight or flight. It's powerful. The other part of the brain that's relevant here is the most advanced part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, or PFC. The work of the PFC includes strategizing, creating, calculating, deciding, memorizing, and even inhibiting unhelpful impulses. You hire people for their PFCs. These PFC functions are important. They're the stuff of our job descriptions. But of course, they're not as important as survival itself. So whether you're getting run down by a leopard on the savannah or run down by a jerk in a meeting, the PFC will be overpowered by instantaneous limbic system responses to threat. And how susceptible is our PFC to threat in the workplace? A study using 2 mazes helps us answer that question. These are the actual mazes used. The difference between them is that one maze has a piece of cheese on it, and the other, this cartoon owl. Half of the study participants completed one maze and half completed the other, and then everyone did a survey about their emotional state and then completed cognitive testing. There were no differences between the 2 groups in the ability to complete the mazes or in the subjects' emotional states. However, there were statistically significant differences on the cognitive tests. The participants who had this cartoon owl on their maze did worse. So if this can impair our ability to think, just imagine what this guy can do. As leaders, you can use your understanding of CARB to make sure people have a workplace where they can be fulfilled and energized. So be clear, provide autonomy, treat people with respect, and build that sense of belonging. CARB is a framework to help you examine the culture you create. CARB offers you an opportunity to intervene in a way that increases commitment and trust, improves business outcomes, and makes people's lives better.